What if the dog that showed up at your door 3 days after your little boy disappeared wasn't just a dog, but the only one who knew exactly where he was? 3 days after their son Lucas disappeared into the woods, Emily and Liam started seeing a German Shepherd standing quietly by their living room window, as if it had something important to tell them. It never growled. It simply waited, ears alert, eyes locked on them with an understanding that sent chills down their spines. Once it was sure they were watching, it turned and walked toward the trees, stopping once to glance back, clearly asking them to come. Desperate for any sign, they followed. The German Shepherd guided them far into untouched forest. They believed they were chasing the tiniest hope of finding their boy. But what waited wasn't only a clue. It was a truth hidden for 50 years. Before we continue, please give this video a quick like, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe so we can keep bringing you these beautiful stories. And tell me in the comments where in the world are you watching from right now? I love knowing how far kindness travels. Back to our story. Morning light slipped through the tall pines of Willow Creek, painting soft shadows across the Harper kitchen table. Emily turned her coffee round and round without drinking. Liam held his cup so tightly his knuckles went white. "They're reducing the search teams tomorrow," he said, his voice worn thin from shouting Lucas's name for days. Emily whispered back, "He's still out there. I feel it in my heart." Lucas had been playing in their backyard that bordered the deep Cascade wilderness. 10 minutes, just 10 was all it took for him to disappear, leaving behind only tiny sneaker prints and his basketball by the open gate. Rescue teams had searched every path. Tracking dogs lost the trail at Silver Creek. His picture was on every news channel. Yet the forest stayed silent. A sudden bark at the window made them both jump. On the porch stood the German Shepherd, less than 3 feet away. Its eyes carried a wisdom that felt almost human. "Liam, come slowly," Emily breathed. The dog barked again, 3 clear, urgent barks. Then it trotted to the edge of the yard, looked back once more, and melted into the trees. Something about its actions felt deliberate, almost like it had a mission. The next morning, it came back. Emily grabbed her phone and started recording as the dog barked, walked a few steps toward the forest, and paused, waiting. "We have to follow," she said. Liam hesitated, but their little boy was missing. They stepped off the porch together. The German Shepherd led the way, stopping often to make sure they hadn't fallen behind. Crossing streams and climbing gentle hills covered in ferns, Liam tied bright orange ribbons on branches to mark their path. After nearly an hour, they reached a small, crumbling cabin. The dog sat calmly at the doorway. Inside, everything was coated in dust: an old table, a fireplace full of dry leaves, and on the floor a tiny red knit hat, the one Lucas wore every day. Emily pressed it to her cheek and breathed in the faint scent of her son. Tears filled her eyes. Liam found a faded black and white photograph of a man from the 1940s, standing in front of that very same cabin. The man's face looked remarkably like Emily's own. The name written on the back read Henry Ellis, Emily's great-great-great-uncle. Searching the rest of the cabin turned up nothing more. The German Shepherd had quietly vanished, following their ribbon trail. They hurried to Sheriff Dawson, who agreed to send deputies right away. Officers confirmed the red hat belonged to Lucas and discovered fresh footprints and a recent granola wrapper nearby. Someone had been there not long ago. Willow Creek's historian, Margaret Brooks, explained that the cabin once belonged to Henry Ellis, a man who vanished in 1952. Old-timers said Henry shared an extraordinary connection with animals, especially dogs, and many believed he could understand them in ways no one else ever could. That same evening, the German Shepherd returned, pacing anxiously, whining with urgency. Emily knew instantly they had to follow again. Liam grabbed flashlights, and together they stepped into the dark. They followed a hidden trail until they stepped into a perfect circle of ancient cedar trees. In the center, a small camp glowed with warm firelight. A man walked forward, Nathan Ellis, his face unmistakably. "Family, you're Emily Harper," he said softly. His daughter Claire explained that for days earlier they had found Lucas, hurt but alive, and had carried him to safety. "We've been looking after him," she smiled. The German Shepherd stood proudly beside them, their faithful guide all along. Lucas had been cared for gently, learning about the woods and its creatures with the other children who lived there. Emily pulled her son into her arms and cried tears of pure joy. Nathan told them the Alice family had lived quietly in the forest for generations, protecting the land and its animals. Dogs were honored as sacred guardians, signs that the forest was healthy and safe. They asked Emily and Liam to keep their home a secret. In return, Emily was given a smooth river stone to place at the old cabin as a promise on the walk home. The German Shepherd walked with them all the way to the edge of their yard, then slipped silently back into the trees. Lucas healed quickly and began to look at the forest with brand new wonder. Weeks later, Emily stood on the porch watching him play when she noticed another young German Shepherd sitting quietly at the tree line, watching over them. Not their original guide, but a new protector. Family, Emily realized, comes in many shapes, and sometimes the forest chooses who it trusts. Being lost, she now understood, can be the only path to discovering where you truly belong. This story has warmed millions of hearts. If it warmed yours, please leave a like, comment yes, and subscribe for more stories that remind us kindness is everywhere.